Hi, Mark and Tamil Kenny with Think Multifamily. We're here to talk to you today about step 5, the drive-by.
So drive by the property, right?
Right.
So before I would ever even drive by a property, some things I want to do up front, right? I want to look at maps, right? The map, for example. So Google Earth, for example, right?
Right.
You know, why I want to hop in my car, spend whatever an hour driving there and back and looking at the property if I can look online and say, hey, this is like the area I don't want to look at. Or maybe there's crime. Crime's huge, not just for you and headaches, but also for lending. Some of the deals that we've looked at before, the crime is so bad that you can't really get good financing on it.
Okay.
Right? So what else do you want to look at?
Well, I have a question for you. How do you research the crime? Is there a website?
There are. We have that on our analyzer too. We'll talk about that more in other steps and how to do that. But there are. You can just even Google the address plus crime, and you'll see typically that way.
Great. So other things that we want to pay attention to with the drive-by is you want to drive by it during the daytime. The advantage to seeing the property in the daytime is you want to check out how many cars are in the parking lot. If there are a lot of cars in the parking lot, it usually means a lot of your tenants aren't working.
That's
Specifically
good or
during
bad?
the day. You know, for us, that's bad because the more people that are lingering around the property, that tends to lead to more crime or mischief on the property.
And more wear and tear. If they're there 24 hours a day, it's just, it's going to have more wear and tear.
Right. We tend to like working tenants in general, right? They're more likely to pay rent.
Yeah. What else?
So driving by the property at night, you kind of want to see what kind of activity is happening at night. We have been to properties actually during the day. It doesn't have to be at nighttime where we've seen drug transactions happening right in front of us. So you definitely need to pay attention to what's happening at your property at night.
Yeah, you might want to drive by quickly.
And don't get out of your car.
And I remember Sean from our group was driving by a property, and he's like, I'm driving fast by this property, I'm not going to stop.
Right,
But that's true, right?
Right.
You want to be able to do that. What else?
Right, so other things we want to look at when we're doing the drive-by is curb appeal. So what is the first thing that you tend to see or the first thing you tend to notice when you're driving up to apartment community? Sometimes it's the landscaping, maybe it's the signage on the building. Can you find the leasing office?
Right.
Now we've been to many properties where we had to drive around and around the property just trying to find out where that office was, right?
It's going to frustrate.
It's very frustrating.
They're going to drive to the next one.
Exactly.
And the curb appeal, it doesn't mean it's bad. If it has bad, it actually might be good.
Yes.
Has bad curb appeal. That's something that can be easily fixed.
Right.
Other things like crime, people say, I'm going to buy the property and put cameras in, I'm going to make it all better and things like that. You better buy the whole block, maybe 2 blocks, or whatever it may be, right? Because the fact is, it's really hard to change a neighborhood buying one property.
Right.
So that's something that's harder to change, right?
Yes, for sure.
What else?
Other things that you want to look at is, are there schools nearby?
Schools.
Preferably walking distance. That would be great for families. If your target audience of your apartment community is families, you want to see what schools are nearby, what amenities might be nearby for the kids.
The park.
That's right. Whether your property has the amenity on it itself, or if there's one really nearby that the kids can go to.
Like our property in North Dallas, right? There's one we own in Farmers Branch, and there's a huge park that sits right in between 2 of our buildings. And it's free, right?
That's right. I love it when the city pays for your property amenity. Yeah. That works for us.
Yeah. Anything else?
You can also notice if there are any churches nearby. That's also something that your potential tenant base might be interested in, specifically if you're also looking to draw more of a family-oriented tenant base.
Right.
Yeah.
What else?
Are there restaurants nearby? I know I personally like to live in a community where I can walk to restaurants. It's not necessary, but you want to see what kind of restaurants, what kind of businesses are surrounding the community to serve your community.
Right. And then you have the physical attributes, right?
You do.
What condition is it? And and if you're doing a drive-by, don't get out. Right? We know people that get out, pretend like they're insurance salesmen, or whatever it might be, right?
Yeah.
And end of the day, if the broker finds out you're doing that, or a seller, they're going to most likely be upset with you, right? So it's a drive-by for a reason. If you want to look at it closer, you just set up an appointment, which would be step 6.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that further. But during this step, drive by. You can drive by slowly, look at the area. It's not uncommon where you get a offer memorandum from a broker, right, which is their marketing material. Property looks really nice.
Yeah.
It's kind of like maybe that girl you saw when you were younger, like, and then you get closer, you're like, well, maybe she's not what I thought. Same thing on the property, right?
Right.
So with this, you want to get, enough to see. The whole idea of this is to figure out whether it's something I want to be able to pursue from a cost perspective.
Right.
How much money do I have to put in based on what I know from the exterior perspective? I haven't seen the interior yet, but it's not uncommon where the exterior is really bad. Chances of the interior being all nice and tidy, probably not gonna be there, right?
Right.
So that's why this is so important.
Okay, another important thing for the drive-by, keep in mind that Mark said it is the drive-by. You're not supposed to get out of your car during this part of the inspection. But you don't want to get out and talk to the tenants or the leasing agents because they might not know the property's for sale.
Right.
And if they don't know the property's for sale, your leasing agents might start looking for work way ahead of the time of the property being sold, which is going to affect business for the current seller as well as you making the transition into the property.
That's what I was mentioning. Yeah, if the seller finds out you did that, then he's gonna go back to the broker. The broker
Right.
can be upset with you, so there's recommendation not to do that.
Right.
So, anything else? I think it's pretty good for the drive-by.
I think so. So thank you for watching. Step 5, driving by the property. Stay tuned for the next step. Bye for
Later.
now.
Bye.